Welcome, ghouls, demons, and fellow weird ones. We're gonna do some candle stories this round. Think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of have a compilation of these small ones in a few videos. Maybe I'll do clips of breaking it up or something. I don't know, but these are my fall and winter candles that I made so far. I'm getting ready for the fall and spring markets. I have a market in Dixon, Tennessee, Indigo, Tennessee's Cottage. Here, if you're in Nashville or a Tennessee local, Indigo, Tennessee is one of the big holistic witchy markets around here with like a wonderful collection of ladies. So I think there are a few young men. Gender, I don't care. Whatever. Anyway, goddesses. It's a beautiful market. So anyway, that will be when is it? September 20th. And so that is the kickstart of my fall markets. That's her Maybon market. And I'm really excited. So these are some of the creations that I've been putting together intuitively for these markets. And this one is going to be the start. This is the first one I started with when I got this cycles set of wax and crystals and all of the above. So this is A Star is Born, which I was also watching the modern Lady Gaga version of it at the same time this was coming through. So I feel like there is some like Gaga essence to it, but the leaves here just look like stars to me. And the colors are black and gold and white, which are similar to my brand colors. And then like, all the shades of cream and everything in between. And so, yeah, I knew the vessel was going to be A Star is Born. And since there's all these like stars and leaves, to me, it was very like fall, like the leaves falling, the change, but then like that gold tone that you get in the sun, like the sun's different in the fall. It's like a warm filter is over everything. You can feel fall coming in and there's like a veil or a lens of shift that comes in. And so anyway, I just felt deeply fall into the candle autumn. I would definitely feel like this is more of a autumn equinox style candle, but you can also get it and then use it the summer solstice because of that solar energy. It depends on who you want to work with the solar energy and when there is an intuitive rebirth. Sorry, the dog hair is everywhere, always around here. So I can feel it on my face. So anyway, depends on, I guess, like your intention with using it and like the rebirth of when like your star is reborn. There's a variety of different symbolisms, especially because so right now we're in the year of the snake. And so I feel like as the year closes, there is like a rebirth and like a different essence or cycle or direction. Like I feel like different cycles represent different kinds of rebirth or death. And that's the spiral of everything. So like a Triskel, the life, death, rebirth, like Celtic knot, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, all of those cycle, like they're constantly spinning at the same time. It's all interconnected and it's all happening simultaneously. So that's why we all have different cycles in life. So again, the star is born, it's stepping into that star essence. So for me as a Leo moon, also during my Pisces Saturn return, it was all of these wisdoms and I guess finally trusting or surrendering. I don't know how to word it, but all of these things came through where it's like, hey, fine, I'm finally going to do all the things that I'm doing except like believe that I could be a star. So like in the Lady Gaga version, you see how awkward and uncomfortable she is. Like she doesn't realize how beautiful she is. She doesn't realize how talented she is. And this like star, this rock star finds her and it's just like, well, you're amazing. And she's like, this is too good to be true. And then there's so much that you can learn in that story. All the different adaptations, but particularly in the modern era, I think Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper did a really good job of like a modern expression of that, especially for artists. So that's where the Pisces Saturn is significant for me, and then all of the other things. So just for anyone who's like needing to step into that inner stardom and that self-love and belief of themselves and taking up space and shining bright, just embodying the star within them, which is why I made the design into a crescent. I think the crescent, that is like a feminine energy in a sense. A lot of people associate the crescent moon with like femininity and witchcraft, but that can also be gender neutral in that sense for anyone who's depends on how you want to apply the energies. And that's why I don't want to get into like the theory of gender and polarity and all of the above, because it kind of depends on exactly how you're gonna map out your equation in utilizing the candle in like the ritual works and like what your intention is. But it would definitely be a really good candle for Leo work, solar work, Leo moons, or any like Leo energy in your big three, Leo midheaven. If you want to apply astrology to it, anyone who wants to deal with self-love, anyone who's just wanting to, I guess, re-spark that belief in themselves. Because like Lady Gaga, to again connect to A Star Is Born, she believed in herself enough to be performing in like the drag queen dive bar setting. So it's not that she didn't think she was good enough to perform. It was just like I don't know what the disconnect was. There's probably 1,000 different reasons to feel disconnected from that potential of fame and being like the center of the universe, which is what like, Leo represents. So significant Leo energy in this, I would say. But also the Pisces. So there's like the artist, the performer, and like, cause especially, and also like maybe even throat chakra, cause this was around Mercury retrograde in Leo. And so with that, there's like Riley Cooper made a point the whole time, like, if you got something to say, say it, which for me is where the YouTube started, being more present and using my voice, not just as like a writer, but like finding every which way to use my voice, because I have known, for something deep within me has known, that I have had something worth saying. What it is, when it is, how it is, I don't know. I don't know if it's all these little things that I say and it's all for different people at different times. I don't know if this is all leading up to me saying one amazing thing, but I definitely felt in that movie like, yes, I have something to say. And I think that that is what Leo Mercury taught a decent amount of people in general, is to speak with conviction and passion, and authenticity. And so that was really fun. That's like what this candle represents and like the creation of it. And so there's a lot of spiritual working that can be done with this candle. So this is A Star Is Born. And so then let's see. Oh, what fragrance is this? I think I got my book because I don't always remember it's the blend. Like you can smell like the main one. How far back is this? There we go. Okay. All right. I have a lot of. Okay, Star Is Born. Oh, it is. It's just vanilla. Okay. I was worried that I put something else in there and I couldn't detect it or whatever. So yeah. Vanilla. There's tiger's eye, howlite, topaz, and garnet in there. Which adds into the cost of things. The topaz specifically, and then the garnet. It's a green garnet. It's not a red garnet. It's a special raw green garnet stone that I got. I just love. So there's this significant Saturn energy. So that's is another connection into the candle through that stone in particular. It is 8 ounces, so that would be approximately 40 hours of burn time, depending on how you choose to burn it. The longer you burn things at one time, the less burn time they have. Typically, burn time estimates are, so it's an hour per 5 ounces of wax, or wait, wrong. Backwards, flip that. 5 hours of burn time per 1 ounce of wax. Excuse me. However, that is the formula for if you burn it at an hour to 2 at a time. So if you burn it for 2+ hours at a time, you're going to decrease your burn time. And depending on what you're doing, you're going to be okay with that sacrifice, so to speak, because it's going to fulfill the intention necessary. So again, there we go. There's that one. And then which one do we want to do next? So we go in order. Then this is Gaia. So both of these vessels I got from Meredith. She does vintage glass and baked good at the Nashville Flea Market. She's wonderful, and I'm so blessed that she like picks out and gives me such wonderful vessels. So this is a Farberware, like just a little china, I don't know, candy canister, or like sugar, flour, whatever. The beautiful butterflies, and it just reminds me of Virgo. It reminds me of Gaia. It reminds me of those September, maybe even like late August, kind of, it depends on where you are in the world, but like those late summer, early fall moments. You could probably even go deep into the beginning of November before, again, depending on where you are, it depends on when the weather starts changing for you and the colors. There's definitely that more tone, the darker greens and oranges. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, I pictured Gaia, but I pictured like, not really a tropical, it's not tropical, but there is a waterfall and there's butterflies, but it's more like a forest. So I guess more like the Pacific Northwest. Okay, that's Washington and like British Columbia. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but that's kind of like the vibe that I get from that. There's a rune in there, and for I did a rune pull, and so I wanted to still like I wanted it to be not real, a full moon, but also like more of a full moon with still like an essence of a crescent. So I don't know how well you guys can see that based off of how I've done everything. The close-ups are, I have a bunch of close-ups on social media, on the website, and all the above if you want like a closer look of it. I can't do everything all at once. I try to figure out the best way to like juggle all of these things and give people the right view, but also be different. This whole experience is interesting. It's a lot to juggle mentally. Like, what's the right way to do it? Doesn't matter. Just, just do it. So that's where I'm at with it. It is quite full. There's a decent amount of herb in this one. So if you are sensitive to the herbs being next to the flame for any reason, this would be a candle I would suggest potentially taking some stuff out. However you choose to use it. I still personally would burn everything in there and figure out what happens, see what messages in it. Yeah, so there's moss agate and prenite. I'm not gonna say that right. So black agate rune in there, lavender. There's all kinds of serpentine, I believe is the other one. And that's what I can see and I remember off the top of my head. And all candles come with like there's a list of things. I try. It depends. On custom orders, I will give everyone like every single ingredient. I don't do that on like my market tags, but if you ask, I will send you a copy of like the recipe from my recipe book. It can be a lot to like tag and put all the details, and then people also think it's bulky because it's a lot of information. And I don't know. I don't know the best way to do it. It's like, well, you can have I need things to be simple. So this is the simplest way to do it. So if you ask me, I'll tell you. If not, I give as much information as I possibly can. And it's not out of gatekeeping, it's literally out of mental sanity and time management. Now, anyway, doesn't it sound so Virgo? I'm such a fucking Virgo candle. I can't help it. What is? So it's a significant autumn scent. I think it's like autumn glow. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. That's why I have that. Yeah, got it. Oh, I didn't do it in order. Silly me. Okay. So it's olive and citron and lavender. Lavender is giving it like such a crisp scent. And the olive is actually that's probably the more autumn essence to it. Fun. Anyway, so it's orange. That's like a really light orange underneath there that I wanted to pick up like the more glowy tones. Like I'm thinking of like a sunset. And so it could also be like an eclipse energy in the sense, like with the orange peeking through. Cause again, like I said, I wanted it to be like a full harvest moon because it is about harvest and fall blessings and those like deep intentions and gratitude and all of the things that we start to feel into as we close out the year and do Samhain, which is like the witches Thanksgiving or American Thanksgiving or any of these other holiday rituals. This is the time of like holiday and that goes into harvest and gratitude. So but at the same, we did just have a lunar eclipse. It's also eclipse season through September until October. So that could also be significant in there. Depends on how you want to interpret the symbolism. But I know I wanted to keep a little peek of the orange wax through there in the light colors that bring out some of the lightness of the butterflies, as well as making sure that represents as much of a full moon as possible. I think sometimes full moon representation can get lost in the candles because there isn't like a contrast of around them. If I was to do like a full moon and then the edge is the circle of the canister. But if you see it, you see it. If you don't, you don't. Everyone's different. Sorry, this one just smells it's nice and calming, which I think Virgos need. I think they need to chill. Okay, so actually, so if I was to do it in the right order, then it would be, don't drop that. Okay, it would be Demeter, which fun enough, I've made more Demeter candles than I think I've made any other candle. I don't know. There's a ton pack with that I just thought of. Anyway, I do, so Demeter, Hades, Persephone, Lilith would be the ones I've made the most of, like in general. Demeter, I've made, let's count. This is the 6th one. Interesting. So yeah, so anyway, it's just the sunflower here. I felt it. Also, I really feel her presence. My grandmother was born in August 21st. Yes. My mom's is the 20th. My grandmother's is the 21st. They're both Leos. And anyone who's been following along to like the Melanoe lore. So Melanoe is the daughter of Hades and Persephone. So it would make sense that there would be a symbolic energetic connection to Demeter as like my grandmother on my mom's side, which like there would be a connection to that. So anyway, I feel her presence around this time of year, and I miss my grandmother very much. But there's also an ancestral line of like healing to go through, especially that feminine wound on top of like the Leo lineage of that. So it's a complicated essence. So this is gratitude and healing, but also like Demeter at this time of the year, I bet is having a really hard time letting her daughter go. Because like the lore of the myth. So Hades, the contract is already done. So what's the aftermath of the contract of every fall, Hades gets Persephone back and she's in the underworld for 6 months. So this time of the year, it's really hard to let the child or the daughter go and pursue their separate journey away from the parent. So there's different parental energies that could go into here, empty nest syndrome, being grateful for the change, that transition from maiden to crone, because like, and that's like other symbolism that you could potentially get into. Like I said, it depends on where you are in your path and how you're going to connect the energies for yourself. But I feel like generally speaking, in generational shifts for you're maybe a madam because you had a daughter, but you're not fully a crone until you become like more of a grandmother, like an elder essence. And so Persephone getting married and ultimately having children, like that is an awakening that could be not so fun to be like, okay, well, I'm no longer young and youthful. Now I'm this elder crone. And there can be all kinds of toxic feminine traits with that we see mirror in our society all the time. So this could be like a good healing of like toxic femininity, bridging an ancestral connection into passing the torch. A lot of other significant things. Again, it depends on how you want to go about it. But the intention is from a lens of like healing, not so much corruption of Demeter's worst feelings or potential intentions, right? But I guess if you really wanted to, in your own way, you could do hex work with this if you were like an angry Demeter who really wanted to go after Hades. Symbolically, that's people. So yeah, anyway, this is Autumn Glow. And what, I missed something. Oh no, it's not Autumn Glow. Autumn Glow's a different one. This is Cranberry Woods and Orange Pomander. Well, that makes sense. I wonder if the Autumn Glow fragrance is those two combined, because it almost smells exactly the same. And then there's some Palo Santo in there. So yeah, so this one, really fall. I am more crisp. This one more sweet, I would say, but still like a fall fragrance. And then, all right, I'm going to regroup. And then I'm going to do some more with the other candles. So thank you for listening. So that was that collection. And now we'll go through the rest of them here shortly. So thank you. Welcome, ghouls, demons, and fellow weird ones. Okay, I'm back. I had to stop that. I wanted to finish all of these on the table. I forget sometimes just how long-winded I can be. And I was cooking and I had to go check my food in the oven. So I had to stop that. So anyway, what did I call you? Beauty. I named this one Beauty. So we're not going in order anymore. Now I gotta flip through this. So she looks like a rose. It could potentially be a tulip, but that's kind of like the floral vessel. But I picture a rose. I particularly envision the rose in Beauty and the Beast in the canister and like the petals falling. And I feel like this is like the overall vibe of this Beauty candle was that it was the final petal fell. Like, so it's that like climax conclusion, which we're going into the autumn equinox, which is related to the last quarter moon and like a grand scale, right? So that would kind of be like the symbolism of that, like a climax of an event, not like the final conclusions, which the conclusion would be where Belle and the prince, like they're dancing and all of those fun things. This is that kind of like the plot twist moment of like what's going to happen, how is this going to conclude, and in that moment the final rose fell, beauty and and you know the story if you know the story. So that's kind of like where this came from. And so there's like a small crescent that you can kind of see in there, but there isn't necessarily, it's not a distinct crescent. It's kind of just this intermix representation of beauty, femininity, Venus, love, pink. You could connect it to like a heart chakra and a third eye chakra base. If you wanted to, there is a heart stone in there. I believe it's a quartz. Um, and then there's yellow adventuring or citrine. What did I put it? Oh, yellow calcite. That's what it is. Okay. Yeah. So it's yellow calcite. Sometimes the wax, the colors are hard to always identify. And the scent is black violet and saffron, which is my favorite fragrance that I got. So, if I haven't explained it, or for people who have missed it in other video or whatever, the fragrances for the Sol line, which I should have maybe mentioned, these are Candle Science fragrances, and I'm expanding from the natural and essential oil based fragrances into more seasonal based fragrances in like there's like pumpkin spice and some of these, the autumn glow. So I really like P&J trading, which is where my spring and summer collection, all of those were like P&J. And I really like them. Because I've been going through this I'm trying to find consistent brand workings. And so throughout my business, I've kind of been someone who I use what's available, and now I'm kind of refining that into using incredibly specific things that I built a long-term, deep and meaningful relationship with. And so I have like my wax has been consistent, my wicks have been consistent, the candle dye has been consistent, the crystals for overall have been consistent. I still do some of them I find at different adventures, and they kind of come from different places, but I've two main crystal people that I work with. And the flowers, like same thing. So things have been consistent, but the essential oils was the fragrance game is such a corrupt place. These ones are Candle Science, because it came between P&J Trading and Candle Science. My issue with Candle Science is everything's there. To me, there is that more of an artificial scent that I pick up, because they also use it for soaps. P&J Trading, I don't know if they're specifically, I think they're just fragrance oil. I don't know their specifications, but Candle Science, if it says for candles and soap, there is a weird scent that I personally don't like, but I know no one's complained about it. It's just something that I notice. And so these are like more fragrance options to show people what's available. I don't mind ordering from Candle Science fragrances to get these more seasonal and artificial scent blends. But I have my essential oil blends, and then P&J Trading, which has some of the best natural fragrances that I've ever smelled. Their coffee doesn't smell weird. Or Candle Science, I feel like they just have like a soapy, artificial something to it. Again, this is me. This doesn't mean people are gonna like what they smell like. I enjoy it for what it is, but I have a particular, like, what I would want to use in the candles that I burn. But also, I think that there is significance if you're smelling something in the candle that could be a release of something within your energetic field that you're picking up on that needs to be released through the candle. So I know I interpret things different ways for different reasons at different times. But I like to be honest with people. Like, this is what I think. But there's nothing wrong with it. That's my main thing. I don't want people to think that it's something wrong. I just know that I enjoy the fragrances of P&J Trading more than I do Candle Science. They're both really good fragrances. I just only like burning very specific scents. Like, not every scent is for everybody, but I'm making these for other people. So it's not about me. But if you want to know what I think as the creator, this is what I think. So with that being said, I really love Black Violet and Saffron Blend. I like that I had cedarwood Rose and saffron. That was another one that I really loved. So far, every saffron scent that I've gotten from Candle Science, I really like. It's more of like the fall like scents that I ordered that I was really excited about, like the pumpkin spice, I was disappointed with. So that's just, again, that's just me being honest. But this one fucking smells really good. I really love the beauty candle. So again, good for self-love, or just love in general, love workings, the love frequency, which can be attached to manifestation or healing. Um, you can attach the climatic plot interpretation of Beauty and the Beast to your magical workings. There's a lot of symbolism in there. And again, there is a heart charm. Okay. So now we're on. So which one's close? Okay. This one's the mandala, however you want to pronounce it. And that is because of the pattern at the bottom of it, which will be shown in videos and pictures and things like that if you can't see it on here. There's a little mushroom, and then amethyst in there. Yeah, this one I just kind of wanted to be a little quirky and chaotic, like you see on all of those sound frequency YouTube videos. So I wanted the different colors and it to just kind of be like a, so yeah, this would be it in a sense. Like this is how I like viewed it, was this direction. And so there's the mandala, etc. This is, I guess, the base of the screen. And then there's the flower that's usually blossoming in those videos. And then you have like the waves around it. So that's just kind of what I was picturing when I was like placing the stones and everything. And I guess it kind of depends on how you look at it, what you notice in it. But that's how I set up the flower and everything, as I kind of just wanted this to be like, or this could even be viewed as like a sunrise or a sunset over the horizon. Yeah. So this one is about meditation, manifestation, deep like ritual workings. There could be a more generic intention attached to it, depending on your purpose for the candle. It could be what is the frequency? Like the heart frequency or the frequency of love. Like it depends on how into sound frequencies that you are. What you could like this with what you play in synchronicity with that. But the scent, I like this scent too. It's called Moonflower Nectar. So I like the interpretation of moonflower, because the mandala is essentially a flower. It's Venus, so Venus is another connection there. But you could also, doesn't matter. Oh, moon. No. Well, so yeah, flower, but the moon. Okay, there we go. I'm back, I think. The moon, and like the moon is the shadow. It's the inner world. That's what like the meditation is. So I like the symbolism of the moonflower. There we go. So the moon and the flower together, moon and Venus conjunction in a way. But no, it's real. This one is more subtle. It's giving dewy flowers under the moon at night on like a warmer autumn day. Like it's not cool, but it's almost like cool. So it'd be September, October energy. So Libra. It's giving Libra. All right. This one is Olympus. And I did that because of the laurel like pattern that's along the edge here. It kind of reminded me, I'm pretty sure it's laurel, like the laurel crown that like Olympians would wear and some of those Greek symbolisms. And then there's like a victory, like trophy thing etched at the bottom. And so I incorporated colors that I associated with like the Olympics and like competition based experiences. So this is like a significant like Mars candle, Aries, gladiator, warrior type energy. And so I'm thinking of, blue ribbon, second place is red, or all the different flag symbolisms, because there's a lot of flags with red, white, and blue on it that represent your country, and it's just in a different pattern. So that's what, and the stars champion. So this is all about victory, crossing that finish line, feeling a sense of relief in your journey, your manifestations, your healing work, like whatever it is that you've been calling a victory for. This is your moment to to conquer whatever mountain is that you're climbing. I haven't been telling you about the burn times. I forgot about that. So both of these, to go back, I put 4 to 6 ounces, because they spilled over a little bit. I wasn't too sure on exactly like how. I know what I started with, which is 6 ounces. How it like, and then I know it was empty. So, but I had to clean a lot of this off. Some of this is still here, but it was a disaster. So it's anywhere between 4 to 6 ounces, which can make it anywhere from 20 to 30 hours of burn time. Especially depending how you burn it. So Olympus it's a Christmas hearth. So it's like the ultimate celebration. Because I was listening to this lunar book. It's an astrology book, and they were talking about how the winter solstice is like where like, not just the birth of Jesus, okay, but this was like the birth, the birth of the sun, and that's like this so it's like it's that mixture of like the death rebirth energy, because winter is associated with death, and with every death is a rebirth. And so with every victory is like a new beginning, so to speak. Like you concluded something, you achieved something, and now what? So this is that gratitude of like the Christmas hearth and all the blessings in your home, that victory, like, yes, I did it, and all the people that helped me get there. And then it's kind of like, now you have that time to sit and reflect, and well, now what's our next mountain to climb? So again, fairly masculine, emperor energy, warrior energy, Aries, Mars. Yeah. But yeah, it's very, so the Christmas hearth, it's fairly piney, and like earthy is what I would say. And then this one, let's see, let's go back. Oh, so this one's 8 ounces. So I know it doesn't look like it with the illusion of the container, but it's an 8-ounce candle, 40 to 45. 40 to 45 hours of burn time. Okay, I talked a lot. I'm recording so many videos. Right. Who have I not talked about? Okay. Excuse me. Now we're going to talk about Dionysus, because this is super fucking fun. This is a grape. And so I was like, ooh, grapes, ooh, wine. Dionysus had to be. So, which might offend people because I put a rune in there. And I'm sure someone somewhere is going to be upset of the cultural blending. I am a mutt, okay? I have roots. I have a root of some kind in every which thing that I talk about. Somewhere in my family tree or the human tree. Depends on how you want to look at it. So I don't want to get into that conversation, but I do have a lot of thoughts on cultural appropriation and blending and things like that. If anyone's interested, I can yap about it in a storytelling or a podcast, but not getting into it for this candle, because this candle is beautiful and I love it. I'm super excited, and it's chaotic and lovely, just like how I view Dionysus to be. Especially with the deep, like purples, and just picture like just such a deep auburn, like brown fur, and these like, I don't know, glowing eyes. I don't know. So it's just gorgeous. So I put a lot of different symbols. There's a star, there's a moon, there's a skull in there. This is pink amethyst. What the fuck is your name? I can't think of this name right now. It went away. So this rune is from rose quartz. And then I think I put strawberry. Yeah. So it's like strawberry wine in a way. Like I was thinking of this. Is it strawberry wine? Strawberry wine 17. Like I think it's honestly like an infomercial about some country album that I used to like constantly see late at night on TV. And it's like that mixture of the different singles that are on there that I think is playing through my head, but strawberry wine for sure. So yeah. Yeah, so white oak and vanilla, strawberry, white tea, and thyme. So yeah, again, gratitude, a party, Dionysus workings, honoring the material world. It's the more pleasurable side of Moloch, in my humble opinion, of energetic connection. For people who follow the more metaphorical symbolism, Moloch represents the devil, which represents the material world. Dionysus is a lover of pleasure in the material world. It loosely, in a nutshell, things are more complex than that, but in this way of like what this candle represents, this is that celebration, the holiday, which is where we start getting into all these holiday seasons, starting with Mabon and moving. Well, we started with Lou, on August 1st. That's like the halfway point between summer and like, I mean, there's fun, but this is the like, you know, uh, you're harvesting. You're what the fuck? I don't think reaping what you sow is what I want to say. Maybe it is. I could be lost on that. Um, but yeah, this is like it's a four of wands. I really feel like four of wands energy with this as well. So purple could be third eye, even up to crown, chakra energy. If there's any other association with wine or grapes that you have, which this seems more Roman than Greek in a sense, but that again could equally be a human migratory divide, a blending of cultures, parents, star-crossed lover energy coming together. That's what a lot of my candles feel like. It feels like, I guess the bridging of the division in humanity because my just my gene pool is so vast with like all these things I've learned from different people that I'm related to and where it all went and all the above. I think we're all more interconnected than we realize. And so that's kind of what I feel like as an Aquarius with quite eclectic tastes. It's drawn from all of these different inspiring moments. And even if I don't have like a root in it, there's an interest there for a reason that I wonder if that's more on a humanitarian collective level. That the world needs to know this cultural practice of wisdom, which I think is interesting. So anyway, with that, we're going to go to the third eye. Well, this is not called the third eye, but this represents a third eye. This is called the elixir. This is a little, it's a little picture. And so I've made some of these like, and I turned them into like beer fest and like fun kind of experiences. But this one has like such beautiful arches on it that kind of look like an eye to me. And especially if you turn it this way. So it represents the third eye elixir, for wisdom, meditation, introspection, desire, like our skill, whatever. But there's a butterfly in here that I made that into a butterfly. And then I don't really know. I think I try to make a moon with this, but there's a mushroom, an amber, and two peach blossoms. Those aren't roses. These are peach blossoms. So a moon and a butterfly. And there's goldstone in here. So here we go, autumn glow. And I mainly picked this one because I wanted autumn. The name autumn was significant. Not so much the fragrance, but the name of the scent. So autumn, this is, and then glow. So it's kind of like a rebirth or it's a blast off. It's a taking a trip, into a, like, so it is like that rebirth energy. So you drink. So it's like with when you take psychedelics, like you eat it and then you sink into or die. I don't know essentially. So death rebirth through the gnosis, because all gnosis essentially you are not the same. So therefore, a version of you is dead and a new version of you is alive. So it's like eating the apple from Adam and Eve. They're no longer who they were, and that's like. So again, it goes into all of that. So if there's the next leg of your journey, this is that like epiphany moment, or that like climax moment. This could be a good candle for sex magic too, because there's like that orgasm energy of like you build up to something. So again, that's like you ingest the elixir and then that chemical shift that comes up. So it's like a degrass with then like I don't know, death rebirth. That's kind of like where it is. There's all the symbolism in this one. This one's really interesting to me, for a variety of ways because of all the different things that you can use it for. So anyway, so yeah, so that was part 2 of this collection. I could keep going and just like reach for some, but I don't want to do that. So I'm not. Okay. So I'm going to end this and then I'm going to start another video. So stay tuned for part 3 of the fall winter 2025 Wyrd candle story collection time. So thank you for listening. All right. All right. Welcome, ghouls, demons, fellow weird ones. We are at part 3 of the fall winter weird candle collection so far. So we left off with, who did I end with? I ended on an elixir note, I think. Yeah, okay. So anyway, let's start with, which one are we gonna start with? Let's start with this one. How do I know how to pronounce you? Probably not. Okay, so we have Shamash. Okay, which I believe. Oh man, memory, don't do that to me. So I can't quite recall now. Is it Inca? Sumerian. Fuck. Okay, don't let my memory fool you. Right now, Shamash is an ancient harvest deity of Inca or Sumerian. And if that either of those are wrong, then my memory is really betraying me right now. But wanted I felt a call to a unfamiliar harvest deity, like for lack of a better phrasing of that. And so I looked up like a different harvest deity, and this is the name that like caught my attention. And I was like, okay, so I think that that's the connection. So I made another one out of a similar picture like this. Different batches of glass vines. So they weren't paired together. I didn't get them or receive them at the same time. So the other one, I believe I named him Soul, and he sold at the March or April National Flea Market. And so anyway, there was that similar like solar energy, but there was, I don't know, there's just something different about it. And then I don't know. There's a lot of different energetic connections of like the harvest felt, I guess, geographically different than my typical harvest deity associations, or I think a majority of people's harvest deity. Like, so like I said, there was a call to a name that was not easily known. And so I looked up the different harvest deities and came across this one. That was the ding, ding, ding. That's it. So, and so you have this, the howlite skulls inside of it. Now, my husband said that that looks like baby poo or puke at the top. And it really offended me. I don't want it to offend the deity. Especially a harvest deity. Hello, don't want to do that. But there's sunstone in there. What changed the color of the top is the shugnite. I put shugnite in there, and so the dust of the raw shugnite can change the color of the wax. It did it in a couple candles. It's done it in a few in the past. This is the most severe, and I think it's because of the pale yellow that I used. So the scent is baby powder, and when it's melted, the vanilla was stronger. And now that it's like hardened and cured, the baby powder is stronger. So it like bothers me a little bit. Because it bothers me in the fact that it wasn't what I wanted. Not that it's a bad fragrance. Is when how it smelled when it was hot was what I wanted. So I'm hoping when it burns, there's that. I don't know. If the person who gets this lets me know, that'd be great. But also, I don't know how they would know if it's what I wanted or not. So this is like a more cleansing, refreshing harvest. There's still, the gratitude energy. There's a lot of gratitude energy this time of the year, or that's what you hope to instill, because it's also a waning phase of the time of the year. So it can be difficult. The sun's fading away, all of those different symbolisms of like going into the darkness. So that can be terrifying for a lot of people. So this time of year, it's always good to anchor in on the gratitude. So that way, I guess the darkness doesn't seem as treacherous. And it's kind of like reflecting and paying your good dues, or like the good karma, or however else you want to view it. So this candle, it's more of like just I guess it's like solar battery. Like so if you through your harvest, you store enough, your winter's fine. You know what I mean? So this is like that that freshness, that cleansing, that healing and relief, that serenity that you worked hard enough and it's okay. You can relax. You're going to have a peaceful, comfortable winter season. And it's okay to put the shovels down, put the hose down. And sorry. Um, modern world. And rejoice in that you can enjoy what it is that you created. You can enjoy the fruits of your labor. That's what this candle represents. And I think like the baby powder, it gives that more childlike innocence and whimsy and also like new beginning. Again, death rebirth is so intertwined with one another. And this year of the snake, the energies are a little shifted in that sense that so now like our skin is like close down to our hips if it's not even completely off some people by now. Like there's a whole like breaking through the cocoon around this time of the year. It's those late bloomer blossoms, right? The final blossoms of the season. And that's kind of the energetic encompassment of this candle. So there's a few different things. They would, again, gratitude, harvest rituals, any of the fall seasonal rituals. If there is, I don't know anybody personally. If someone works with shamash, I apologize severely if I'm saying that wrong with my American accent. But then that would be a good deity work as well. And yeah, just like positive reflection. It's not wisdom with a harsh lesson. It's wisdom with like, I trusted my intuition. I was fucking right. Kind of a little bit, I told you so energy, in a more positive way, in a graceful, diplomatic way. But he's a pretty big guy. It's 16 ounces. So that's up to 75 to 80 hours of burn time. And he is easy to repurpose into a pitcher, a flower, vase, and etc. I keep forgetting to also mention what people can repurpose these into, some of the vessels. I think some of it's self-explanatory. I think that explanation is more for like the crazy towers and stuff that I have, versus like some of the cups and jars. But I do always like to try to mention it if I can. All right. So what's next? Ooh, okay, so we started there. And now we're here. Okay. All right. Let's do the roots first. So this is the tree of death or the clip off. Potentially the tunnels of Set for those who have an association with that. I don't want to get into people's like specifications too much. Some lines are blurred and I don't care what your solid line is. So this is the tree of death. These are the roots. This is the underworld. This is Hades energy, any underworld deity. This kind of gives a more masculine essence, but it could equally be equivalent to like Hecate. What is another underworld? Like hell. Hell would probably be significant with like the blue tones in there, and hell's underworld being more of an ice realm. The cross is there and it's actually upright. I have an upright cross, which is not normal of me or typical of me. However, I wanted it to give graveyard. That was kind of the vibe. I wanted gravestone. And again, a rune is there, the blanket. And so this one is like a reversal. Funny, it's fun. It's really fun of the tree of life. So the mushroom or the tree is, oh, I saw a reflection of sorry. I was worried. I just noticed that. It's fine. I believe so. So people can see in real time how I manage candles. It's saying there's a reason why I noticed it. Mainly probably because I don't want the glass to scare me if it cracks, but don't necessarily care for it to crack either. So you just kind of shift things around. I use bones. But I also have other tools as well. But I will use a bone. And there you go. See? So I don't know. I don't even realize where I noticed it. It was a reflection somewhere crazy that I don't know where I saw it. That's so weird. So weird. Anyway, what the fuck was I talking about? It's tree of death, clip off. Cool. Okay. So it's the opposite. So the tree it's wormwood that I use. And so the tree is made out of like the herbs and then the stones are around here. and there's not a lot of herbage or floral at here because it's death. So it's the roots, it's the underworld. It's not meant. It's supposed to give all of that symbolism, and then the skull for obvious reasons of death, but also gnosis that comes from the underworld, and thou shalt not be afraid to go into the darkness. That the darkness is where we rest, it's where we heal, it's where we create, it's where we are born. And so it's a more positive experience. Not like everyone wants to treat these dark principles like they're brutal, and I'm not saying that they're not in a certain way. But there's really not much to be afraid of unless you're afraid of yourself, and that's a whole other thing. This is good for shadow work, underworld work. Those who are more left-hand path oriented work with the clip-off or underworld deities, or just anyone who is a shadow work person or advocate or whatever. This I would not recommend this for anyone who's more Wiccan or love and light in who doesn't have a true solid fucking grasp on shadow work and those other realms. Because I based off of my personal path, my personal experience, my energetic connection to this candle, it will fuck you up if you are not ready. So I don't recommend this for someone who isn't prepared for the shadow work of a lifetime. But those who want true transformation and apotheosis and ascension, etc., this would be a really good. And this one, it looks like little icicle trees, and it matches the tree of life. Where would that be the Kabbalah, right? Yeah. So they match. I had 3 of them. I don't know what happened to the third one. I don't know what I ended up doing with it or using it for. I might do something different with it if I find it. But these 2 are together, and so there they go. So you can see the opposite. So the tree of life, I use the crystals for the tree or the mushroom in that symbolism. So what the fuck was your fragrance? Sorry. So tree of death is redwoods and moss. So again, a more tone. I think like the evergreens, pines, like all of those fragrances are more associated with winter or very late fall. So that is where we had that one. Anything else about you? No, it would also be a good protection candle, potential hex candle, or banishment candle, depending on your connection and association with what that means. So now tree of life. Love the tree of life. I'm so excited. So I used this is gold. It's like agate and rutilated quartz. Is like, so it's the branches, it's the bark of the tree, and then I use this funfetti cat eye blend to represent like the leaves, the life, the rainbow of life in the trees, the full spectrum of life and creation and existence and abundance and beauty and all of that, with a rose quartz rune at the base that connects to the rune that is at the top of the tree of death. So tree of death, again, it's inverted, so like its top would be the base of the tree. And so even though I know essentially it would be like this, but I think y'all understand what I'm talking about and what picture I'm painting. And for obvious reasons, it wasn't designed the other way. So there's a heart there, a pure heart, and it's clear quartz, but it is coated in like the pink. So I think when it comes to like the right hand path, the love and light side of things, the tree of life side of things, I don't think it's like a pure white hue. I see nodes of pink in it, and I think that is like the love frequency that is into light. That's where this is not a pure white candle, even though like I kind of wanted it to be. But as the process played out, there's that hue that I couldn't shake. It's just like the purest of pearl, that iridescent. There's a shimmer, and most of the time I see pink. I don't know if everyone else sees pink, but like I will. And so I think it's just more like that love frequency that is proof of a healthy shadow world. So if your roots, if your underworld is super healthy, your light will have a loving essence to it. I think that's could be like aura work, for those who are trying to essentially purify their energetic field to attract material desire in a nutshell. So yeah, this is healing work too, because there is toxic love and light positivity. So this would definitely not be like intended for that. It's going to be healthy, and authentic blossoming. So using this candle again, you might be surprised at what answers come from it if you're coming from a false virtue of love and light, so to speak. This fragrance is vanilla. And this is a different vanilla than, so I have like 5 different vanillas. So the vanilla of the Star is Born is vanilla fantasy. And that's like a more warm, like brown sugar vanilla. This is like a crisp, frosting, sweet vanilla. So this is the Tree of Life. They're both 9 ounces. So that would be 45-hour burn time. So since this one almost scared me to death, we're going to talk about clover. And so clover reminds me of Flower from Bambi. It's just this cute little skunk. And we name it Flower. So yeah, this one, it's about like 4-leaf clover energy. It connects to a story that I'm writing that I hope to publish soon. I don't know how much I want to talk about it, but it's about a clover. I can say that because it's clover. So this is clover, and there's a orange lily in there. This is adventuring, but I wanted again. There's kind of a Virgo energy. There's an Earth sign energy, but I think of like deep, which I guess would be Virgo with the purples and the dark greens. Definitely not Capricorn. This is definitely too dark for Taurus and too bright for Capricorn, I suppose. So I guess it would be Virgo, but there's definitely just that warm side, and like those deep dark tones of fall or the earth in here. A little bit of a tropical, but the fragrance itself, because this is another Christmas hearth. Christmas fucking Christ. Christmas hearth. So Yule. Okay, it's a Yule fucking candle. I'm trying to say the actual name because I get really hung up on accuracy in that way that I wouldn't be using it for Christmas. I'd be using it for Yule. So, but the scent is Christmas hearth, which is such a fucking tongue twister for my lips to handle. But anyway, so it's about the luck that you can only have from within, the power that you can only have from within. And that's like, I think a huge lesson in that. So again, so we're shedding the skin of the snake. So we're shedding false connections and ideals and relationships to our own luck. Luck is not something outside of you, it's something within you, which plot twist connects to the story of what I've learned within myself in this journey. And I feel like people ultimately end up discovering for themselves when things start to flow, it's because they've cultivated something within themselves that kind of forces the outer world to move around you in a sense. So it's basically you swimming. So we're in a quantum field of existence, in a virtual reality, whatever theory you want to fucking apply to it. And we're just swimming through, and that's you can only swim through once you learn how to navigate water. So I guess this candle helps you learn how to swim, or it's like just an offering of gratitude for getting you to this moment. So when it comes to gratitude, it can be being grateful for where I am at this time. It could be grateful for wisdom. There's so many different ways to express that gratitude, or invoke that manifestation. Sometimes when it comes to a candle offering, it is acknowledgement of that wisdom, and then you have an artistic representation of that burns out and releases into the universe. And so that acknowledgement could be where that could be the missing puzzle piece sometimes. I know that is for like myself. Is it's like it's not that you didn't learn the lesson or gain the wisdom or like express a level of gratitude, but this is like it's a present to the energetic like mix that led me where I am, because it's not just one essence or spirit or entity, it's usually a team. So it's kind of like giving a gift to the team essence. So it could be also like an ancestral offering if you have like an association with that, or specific deity work offering, or a self offering. I think sometimes we forget that we can create and do stuff for ourselves. Yeah. So depending on this one's in the store right now, but I guess depending on who gets it, when they get it, how they get it, and when I get through this book, the book and the candle may go together. I may have forced that into the just by highlighting it. Who knows? If the person who gets this candle wants the book, let me know. So yeah, this is 8 ounces, 40 hours of burn time. I'm gonna move you over here before you stress. I knew I forgot one. You're over there, girl. I see you. Okay, who's next? Who is? No, I don't want to do those. Okay, we'll do that. So this is Pina Colada. For no other reason than that song popped into my brain when I grabbed this vessel, and I kind of was just like looking at it and I didn't know what to do. My husband informed me that pina coladas are yellow, not orange. Don't care, Chad. Uh, I do care. Actually, that really bummed me out. I don't drink pina coladas. I don't like rum. I don't like coconut flavored things most of the time. I will use coconut oil, but like I'm adverse to it. I don't fully like it, but I have a buttered rum fragrance, and it was just, I don't know, it just seemed fun. But that was like the song, and which here's the thing, kind of reminds me of like Capricorn energy, because like the song is be like pina coladas and cotton in the rain. If you're not into yoga and you have half a brain, there's a part of me that's like, is this like shitting on spirit girlies? Like, is this like, oh, you're finally a cool girl who doesn't believe in the woo woo? And it's like, no, here's the woo woo in my pina colada. My woo woo is getting caught dancing in the rain. And I do have half a brain. I have more than half a brain because I'm into yoga. Just kidding. I don't know. I don't know the complexity of that, but I know I don't always, I don't know. There was like a mixture of thoughts that I went through in that. And which I think is funny how it, because here's the another Capricorn, when I commented on it, she's like, oh, that was like the most popular song the year I was born. And I was like, it would fit for your bitch ass Capricorn energy, because my husband, the same vibe with it, where I'm definitely getting caught in the rain kind of girl. And so I think like that song is that connection of two different worlds. So it could be star-crossed lovers. It could be just like a letting loose candle and being a free spirit. So if you're not a free spirit, it could be a good candle to use to help you be more relaxed if you're wanting to be. Not unless if you need more structure, not the candle for you. This is Sagittarius, it's fire sign. It's a little bit of air, not entirely. There's more fire essence in here, I would say. But yeah, rum, strawberry, and lime, which I know does not smell like a pina colada, okay? But that's the name anyway. And I don't care what it could be, but there's a fig, there's oranges, and strawberries. The oranges and strawberries, I dehydrated myself, and I'm really proud of that. Orange, or not orange, fuck me. That is green opal and strawberry quartz. Yeah, fucking look at me. Sunstone too. Cool. 12 ounces. I couldn't believe 12 ounces fit in there, but then, I mean, I cut it close to the brim because of how it dips down. So some of it spilled all over. I like to keep wax strippings personally. Some people don't. Some people would wish that I would clean them. I won't. It's not because I'm lazy. Some people think that. Some people think I'm making an excuse. I genuinely, sometimes I will feel called to clean a candle, like the fucking mandala one, whatever. It was coated at the bottom, and I took off most of it, but there's a few pieces that stayed, and I won't take those off. So, you know, it's my own madness that you get to deal with. If you want to clean it, that is your job, not mine. Okay. All right. So that's pina colada. But that was everything that kind of went into that candle. What else would it be good for? So yeah, so joy, celebration, bliss. But yeah, I definitely feel like it's like a deep free spirit candle. And these are all potential intentions. I know like on my website, on the product page, like I have generalized intentions for them, and then I'm elaborating. So some of it may not all be on there, and it's just because of the complexity of the candle. There's so many different ways to use each and every one of them that I just want to show people this is how you can interpret. This is how I interpret it. You can interpret it differently. That's the magic and beauty of art. And whatever it will help you with is what I want it to do. I want it to give you whatever it is that you genuinely need. But they're the details behind the creation process. So if you're trying to figure out which candle is meant for you, then maybe the story will help you connect with one. And so with that, who are you? How did I do this? Ace of Cups. This is the Ace of Cups. This is giving aquamarine mermaid vibes for sure. So I do have a Queen of Cups and a King of Cups, and then now there's the Ace of Cups. So that was significant for me and a lot of the water energy that I navigated over this Pisces Saturn return. So I could say a significant amount of Pisces energy. If you are Pisces dominant, if you are Pisces Saturn specifically, because there's a deep correlation to that season and the Ace of Cups and the lesson of that tarot. So they kind of combined there. But this is an aquamarine stone, and that is a opalite. I question that stone. I'm assuming it's glass, to be very honest with you, and that is not included in like the pricing of this candle. Being honest, I try to be as transparent as possible. Or it's like a quartz that's like dyed. I don't think it's a true opalite. But anyway, don't know. It could be. I could be wrong. But there's turquoise, aquamarine, and what is it? Apatite. Is that right? I don't know if I'm saying that right. And this is just a pretty white flower. You see some of them. I don't, is it carnation? No, this one's different. This is not one of my carnations. Can't remember the name of the flower. Anyway, so this is all about Ace of Cup energy, and I kept the symbolism, all right? So I intentionally did this, this is the overflow. I tried to fill the cup up as much as I could without ruin the integrity of a lot of what I wanted from it. But your cup should always be full, and then you pour from the excess. You don't even really need to tilt your cup. That's more for just like symbolism of seeing how it drips. So if it's overflowing, then it's for others. If it's not overflowing, it's not for them, it's for you. Your cup has to stay full, right? Because you can't pour from an empty cup, but that also doesn't mean you empty your cup for somebody. So yeah, that's like all the symbolism in there. There is not just like the mermaid essence and the water sign essence, but Cinderella was significant. I didn't make a Cinderella candle, which I will talk about in another candle story time. But yeah, like that was just something. So I would just say Disney princess more so with this one. I think a lot of the Disney princesses in their own different ways showed women what it meant to have your cup be full to an extent. Like that could open up a whole can of worms, depending on how far you want to take that. But essentially, it's receiving all like the abundance and pleasure and love and desire and wholeness on an emotionally fulfilling plane that you've always wanted. So this would be great for self-love, manifestation, routine work, making sure that you're working through your routines, in like in an aligned way. So Cancer rising energy is uh significant because Cancer rising really struggle with routine, because this one was made in under a Virgo sun, so there could be like that correlation connected to it. Yeah, let's see. So this one is lavender. So this one gives like a more fresh linen lavender. Like this lavender oil that I have from Candle Science, it's not like a essential oil lavender. It's more of like a linen lavender, which is very refreshing. It's calming. But it's not going to be that strong lavender floral scent. It's more of like a clean, crisp perfume, if you will. All right, cool. So I'm gonna put you there too, because I just want to make sure you guys got room. Okay. So then now we move into the Ace of Pentacles. So the Ace of Pentacles, it was interesting to me what tarot energy came through. For lots of reasons. Anyway, focus. So what did I put in here? Yeah. Okay, you are. Okay, so it is citrine. Okay, so I did put citrine in there. This is a euro coin from Spain when I was there. Fig, aloe, dried lily, and there's lotus seed in there as well. So it's abundance, prosperity, opportunity, a nurturing environment to nourish an opportunity, a dream to plant a seed to blossom. So there's earth energy. There is some spring and Taurus energy in here, surprisingly, but that could also be the seeds that you planted in the spring blossoming. There could be cycle corn. So it could be from like a Taurus to Scorpio cycle. So if like there was something you did in Taurus season, then this candle could be utilized in Scorpio season to bridge that spring to fall gap, Taurus to Scorpio plain pole path. So Scorpio Taurus energy would be significant here as well, which would also mean Venus and Mars and Pluto. This one is a nice subtle scent. It is white oak and vanilla. So it's a calm masculine. Yeah. Not so cologne like, just I guess natural, fresh out of the shower man. And maybe that could be very specific to my husband, but it's nice. That's the main point is it's nice. And this is 12 ounces. Oh, and the Ace of Cups is 13 ounces. So 60 to 65 hours of burn time for these guys, roughly. And then, get some water. All right. I'm powering through. I want to get this in before you go to work. I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah. Hi, Susan. Okay. So now we have, oh, I skipped them. Speaking of cool. Oh, whoa, these are way back here. Cool. Focus. Anyway, all right. So now these two, they are separate but together. That's because they're twins. And they give me similar vibes. So it could be yin yang energy. They could be used together, but I did have them separately. They will be separately priced. I might change my mind because there is such connection to them. Okay. This is Siren, this is Petrichor scented, and then this is Cancer, and this is Autumn Glow and Moonflower scented. So it's Cancer in the autumn. It gives a very significant beach scent to me. It is so Cancer. Like crab at the beach. I think Lana would love this, to be very honest. This is Siren. So even though it's Siren, and I connect them with the water energy, this could potentially even be Pisces in a sense. It's like there's a separate togetherness with them. That's because like they remind me of like crab claws. Like, I don't know. Just going back and forth, like and then like they go together. So there's like yin yang like side of things. So and then Cancer's symbol is that way. I don't know. So there's just like a lot of dualism here that I'm not too sure how to connect. But I do have the skulls in the siren. Like it's that symbolism of like the mermaid siren calling the sailors to their death. And that's like the death energy of the people that lost to the sea goddess, so to speak. So there could be like sea goddess energy in there. Could be Aphrodite energy, sea dragon. There's a sea dragon. Who am I thinking? Don't know. Name's not coming to me right now. But anyway. Yeah, they give. Okay, sorry, I'm getting lost in it. But yeah, and so these are just like some little guys. So they're either probably 5 ounces because again, like there's overflow there. And then as I was topping them, the overflow got just a little bit more intense. Let's see. Okay, so that's garnet, moonstone, amber, and quartz. Okay. That's in this one. So garnet, moonstone, amber, and quartz. I was trying to figure out what that one was because they coated it in wax. And so it's, and I'm sure it's just a quartz. And then there's moonstone deep within there and amber beneath. So but this could also be, that like, it's just a very Lana. So I'm thinking like money, power, glory, high by the beach. If you're a Lana fan, that would be significant. There is like, that royal luxurious essence that is Cancer in this candle. And then there's that more like shadow side, I'll lure you to your death. So this could be like, light and dark. Again, yin yang of Cancer. They could be used together, but they're also separate. But again, I could also see Pisces energy being significant. There is a lighter essence of potential Scorpio energy, but also this would be more of like a Scorpio on like a Pluto aspect than a Mars. And then this would be a more softer, romantic side of Scorpio. It's definitely water sign energy for sure. You can kind of feel into the spectrum of water energy. So that is how I would use those. Cancer placements, Cancer workings, moon workings, like healing, all of that. So like think Katara from Avatar, all of the water tribe things that you would interpret, that's what these would be for. So there's that. That's fun. And I'm going to take another break and we will do a part 4 for some of the remaining candles. So thank you for listening. My voice is giving up on me. I've been talking so much the last few days. More than I ever have in my life, and I didn't know that was possible. All right. Thank you. All right. Welcome, ghouls, demons, and fellow weird ones. All right. This is part 4 of my fall winter 2025 weird candle collection. This is going to be, so this is going to be probably like one of the last ones for like some of these smaller pieces. And then I will do individual, I don't know how I'm going to, but I have like my big towers that are behind, some here and then some over there. Figure out how I'm going to do their story time. Because I don't know. I don't need to explain all this, but I like to. This is how I operate. It's just the inner monologue externalized at all times. This is what it's like to be around me. So with that, maybe I'll use my new nifty AI tool that Riley's convinced me is okay to use, despite my hesitancy with AI use of almost any kind. I'm weird about AI. That's a whole other tangent that I could potentially podcast about if you want to hear about it. But maybe I'll like have like the long videos for these like bundles that I've done, and then I'll have the AI break it up into clips. Blah, blah, blah. It's just more videos. It's just more content. It's just more of the same stuff all the time. I don't know. Whatever. I'm figuring out how to navigate all of these things without getting caught up in the efficiencies of it. It's all a learning process. But every time I learn, like, well, this is what you should do. This is how other people do it. This is how it works. I'm just like, because you see the same fucking clip 1,000 times, but you make more money off of things. It's the same video in a slightly different clip. You slightly altered it. And both of them went viral for the same fucking thing. And then you get money. It's weird. So whatever. Where do we start? No, where do we start? Now that I went on a tangent. All right. Let's start with the King and Queen of Cups. All right. So this is the King and Queen of Cups. Here they are. Let's see. Actually, so the queen threw me because of the subtlety of her colors. So the king is, I think, a little bit more obvious to the eye, but they're down here. So they both have crescent moons, and then so it's moon and water symbolism throughout the entire cups. Because cups is water element. Water is moon. Like, so there's all these different elemental associations on top of the tarot association, which then could go into the astrological association. But these are deeply healing candles. These are emotional intelligence candles, introspection, reflection, emotional fulfillment, embodying your emotional plane, not being afraid of being sensitive. So anyone who's needing energetic connection or meditation with it or etc. King and Queen of Cups. Or maybe again, it's the acknowledgement that you are proud of yourself for how much you've grown. Either way, man or woman, masculine, feminine. Maybe you're learning to embody your intuition and trust that woman's intuition and that sensitive feeling that has ultimately never done you wrong when you do listen to it. Or there's the King of Cups who is leading people into a state of emotional intelligence, which ultimately nurtures and nourishes the material world. So we live in a really weird material existence right now. And I believe it's because, in a way, in a sense, we're in a drought, metaphorically speaking, spiritually speaking. And so the King of Cups is the one who takes action to nurture the land. Essentially, that's like one interpretation of it. There's so many different representations of these elements. That's just like one way to view it. Where the feminine is that healing energy. It's the womb. So this could the Queen of Cups be good for like womb healing or Lilith astrology healing, especially like my Lilith is in Cancer. And so this could be a significant candle for that emotional healing and embodiment. Again, it's not just all about healing and work that you need to do. This could just be acknowledgement of how far you've come. So you could buy yourself a little treat and just be proud. Again, gratitude, because again, we're at the time of the year of reflection, and the fall winter is about gratitude, introspection, reflection, and preparation. Once you get to Capricorn season, preparation for the new world, like what stuck from our last cycle, and that's what's gonna stay. And then you tell that information to Aquarius, and then Aquarius tells you all the new perspectives you need. And then Pisces is the flood that wipes all things away, Aries new beginning, etc. So depending where you're at, you can align these within those elemental cycles, because some of these candles, depending on how you burn them, you don't have to start them and then burn them all the way through. You can I have people who still have their very first candle that they ever bought from me 3 years ago, and it's because they only light it at certain times. So these aren't things that you have to light and then burn out. Like, you can revisit them. They're like, it's a tool. You don't use a hammer once and throw it away. Sometimes you need the hammer at multiple or different times of your life. Same with these candles. So that goes back into the talisman aspect of the candles, and not the candle spell for higher aspect of the candles. Like, I'm really trying to find a way to express that differentiation in some of the other candles on the market, or with me having the spiritual, witchy, oracle, high priest, etc. Whatever fucking title. I don't know what title people want to give me. I don't know what title I deserve. So whatever it is, I just know I'm an artist, a dreamer, a writer, creator, who sees all these different symbolisms of potential placebo or just psychological healing, whatever it is. However I'm easily digestible, I don't care. But they're nice, and they're soft, subtle fragrances. This one, again, this gives it's a similar fragrance to a siren. This moonflower, I could get my book. Hold on. There's moonflower. I'm pretty sure I put moonflower nectar in both of those for that similar water element. There's you guys. Book. Sorry, here you are. I'm sorry, Santa. I'm good. Okay. King Cups, Petrichor, Evergreen, and Apple. That's what it is. It's the Petrichor. So it's the siren, not the Cancer one, I believe. And the Queen of Cups is Vanilla Orchid. Another win for candle science. I was not happy with a lot of them. So when I found a win, I want to acknowledge it. So Queen of Cups, win, Vanilla Orchid. Beautiful, subtle, peaceful fragrance. King of Cups, it's Petrichor, Evergreen, and Apple. It's musky, it's wood, like kind of, I don't want to say woodsy, but it is woodsy to me. So it's like those oceanic cliffs, forests. So again, we can think of like this. I've never been to the Pacific Northwest. Yeah, I've never been up that way. Oregon, Washington, British Columbia, Canada, up there. Michigan. I've been on the East Coast a lot. I'm from the West Coast, essentially, in a way. I'm from New Mexico, but I've never gone further west than Arizona and Nevada. And that's Las Vegas and Phoenix, baby. Like, that's as far as it went. So I don't know why that fragrance reminds me of that so much, but King of Cups is giving Seattle. It's giving Nirvana. It's giving Kurt Cobain. Take that as you will. All right. Interesting how much water energy and symbolisms here. This has to be due to the Saturn thing. You see Saturn. Okay, so let's go into the woolies, the wacky woolies. I made this for my best friend. This is for my friend Carissa, and this is Athala. I will say that for her because she's gonna watch this. And anyway, this is just I don't want to air up too much of her personal business out here, but she's been going through some significant ancestral healing awareness and insights. And her Celtic origins, her Irish roots, her Scottish roots, like this mixture of this Nordic Celtic like experience, because she's very Slavic in her physical presentation. And that's kind of the only ancestry she's ever really known. And she's learning about the other side of her heritage and the complexities of her ethnicity and gene pool, I think, with a lot of melting pot Americans are understanding, and not just Americans, but specifically America, like we're noticing it, but it's all over the world. There's a melting pot of human genetics and races and cultures everywhere. So this was just kind of like I don't know, just something nice. I want it to be happy and peaceful. The big sheep on here is lucky and crazy. So she's crazy lucky. And I think that that's important. And it's also the full spectrum of emotions. There's a rainbow. She's an occupational therapist. I want happy, positive new beginnings. I want her to experience the full spectrum of life. She's a Sagittarius with a Pisces moon. And so this is also connection to her artistic expression as a painter. She's a beautiful painter. And but also like the moody colors, because she's fall and has like more of a warm autumn tone to her paintings. Like she doesn't do watercolor neon, but she doesn't do like a lot of winter tones. She's a quirky, vibrant fall person, and I think that that's really cool. So it's like, I guess it's Universal Studios Harry Potter in a way, because it's like Disneyland and oh well, Halloween Town. Halloween Town's perfect. She's like a spooky but still colorful Victorian. I don't know. That's my best friend. So it's pumpkin cashmere. Did I mix this with something? I don't think this one, because I made her two. So no, this one is just pumpkin cashmere, which I like. So I like the pumpkin cashmere. It's subtle, it's calm. That pumpkin buttercream and pumpkin spice is way too fragrant, artificial sweet fragrant for me. But this pumpkin cashmere is sweet. It is so calm and refreshing, and what I fucking wanted out of a pumpkin scent, or fall fragrance, I should say. Woolies, this is 12 ounces. This is a present, but if I was to charge for this, see, it would be $60 in person, or $65 in the store to cover shipping. And that is because it is 60 hours of burn time. Roughly. And then all the other value that goes into it. So then the second one I made for her is one of these Scooby-Doo ones. And it's for her Bubba. Oh my God. It's because I said Bubba. This is my Bubba. You can see his butt in the camera covered in catnip. Yeah, I talk about you. So my Bubba Valence, but her Bubba, Boris. Okay. She has a dog named Boris after the original Frankenstein. He's a dopey, derpy Great Dane, and I love him. He's precious. And I'm writing a story about him that is very Scooby-Doo-esque because of not only Carissa's like spooky vibe, but also Boris as this dopey stoner Great Dane, you know? So this is the Boris candle. The wax is black. Boris is as a gray and black spotted Great Dane. So that's where the color came in. But he has like a blue hue to him. So there's the blue bat. Bats are significant for the essence of Eddie from fucking Stranger Things and Munson, Eddie Munson. So his back candle that I made her, for those who know about the Eddie Munson candle I made, she was one I made it for. So I kept that symbolism in there. But also I thought it gave like Spooky Island vibes, like Scooby-Doo Spooky Island, but also the other colors of Scooby-Doo. So yeah, these bowls were given to me by Meredith at the Nashville Flea Market. They're vintage bowls. They have like the Warner Brothers studio store at the bottom. They have 1,000 is the date on there. I don't know how antique or I don't know what they're worth, the bowls itself, but I got 2 of them and I thought it was really cool. I thought it was fun. And it's like it's an ice cream bowl. And I don't know, I thought it was cute. And because it has Scooby-Doo on it, and like the story I'm writing for Boris and just my friend and everything that she's been going through. I wanted to give her something great. And I also love that the colors match. Like these are 2 separate universes that came together. And that's Carissa and Boris in a nutshell. Like her and him had like a special bond in this really kind of quirky, artistic way that I think is really cool. So I wanted to honor that. And so I put all the different rainbows and again, all the spooky symbolism, all the skulls, all the scary stuff that you would stereotypically see in the Scooby-Doo cartoon and movies and stuff like that. So this fragrance, I did mix this one. This one is, where are we, Boris? So it's the pumpkin butter. This is the pumpkin butter cream that I wasn't a fan of, but I mixed it with the cranberry woods and it gives it a really nice fall fragrance. It took like the cranberry woods balanced it out enough to take away some of that like annoying artificial fragrance that I don't like, that other people may enjoy, and no hate, no anything. All noses are different, right? But I have to an extent, unless someone gives me a specific fragrance. If you give me a specific fragrance, I don't care if I like it or not. I will do it for you, and you are entitled to enjoy what you enjoy. If I'm making it not for someone in mind, when someone didn't give me a specific fragrance, if I'm making it, I have to like the scent or I will lose my shit. So that's why I had to make sure I liked it. This one has quartz halite, snowflake obsidian, which so Boris looks like a snowflake obsidian. Absolutely. If we had to give a crystal of what he looked like, snowflake obsidian, absolutely. And so this is, it's for courage and bravery and, self-love and authenticity. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy are very authentic, original individuals who are one with their emotions. They don't give a fuck. I'm scared, bitch. Fuck you. And I love that energy. Carissa is direct. Boris kind of I just pictured Boris and like his reactions to his responses. He's quite animated. And so that's all the love and intention that goes into those candles for Carissa. So that goes into the second Scooby-Doo bowl, which is on the store. This one's Matthew Lillard. In honor of Shaggy. I didn't want to name it Shaggy specifically. I really wanted to make sure I named it Matthew Lillard because of the significance of that man in our pop culture. And when I was making this, I saw my friend, Madame Rue. She's on TikTok. I believe she's on YouTube. I'll try to tag her. I'm still figuring that out. So if I fuck that up, she's on my TikTok. You'll see her. I'm loud and proud of my TikTok, which I'm super grateful for. She had posted something about Matthew Lillard in a few of her contents that she was crafting on TikTok that day. And I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to name this Matthew Lillard. And you can't tell because this is another one of the Suge Knight dust altered the color of the top, which I kind of like that because there's that illusion of there's like screen energy in there. Again, Matthew Lillard. So there's the cloak, the black cloak of Ghostface, but then underneath it's just Shaggy, with this green, lime green. It's a lime green wax. So as you burn it, you might see some swirls and like smoke effects with like the dust, but as it burns down, the green will rise to the surface, which I think is really fun. The R rune, what I liked about that rune pull and the connection to it is it was like Rutro, Raggy, or like all of those other like Scooby things. So I felt like the R really attached to that essence of it, but also it's travel. Right? Am I remembering correctly? I don't know. There's maybe it's because I'm still in this. Maybe it's because everything's connected. I don't know. But just Sagittarius energy. I don't know a connection to Matthew Lillard and Sagittarius energy or what that was. I gotta refigure that out because now I'm kind of confused. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, so I wanted this to kind of give like graveyard vibes as well. It's not just like incorporate the pop culture energy of Matthew Lillard, but Scooby in itself, Scooby Doo in itself, Shaggy in himself, but horror in itself and the shadow aspects of what these fun horror movies teach us, and just like the warm light that Matthew Lillard has been in like our society. Like there's a lot of people that he's inspired. I'm definitely one of them. I think there's a lot of people out there. So that's why I named the camel after him in association with the traditional Warner Brothers Studio ice cream bowl. And then again, all the symbolism. So these are 24 ounces of wax. So I believe I did put it at 125 for shipping and the magical sachet that comes with it and everything. This is going to be a longer burn time candle. This isn't quite a big bowl. And I know that might seem like a lot, but there's a decent amount of crystals and everything else in there as well. It's mainly because of the wax size on the price of it, but it gives you, so that is approximately 120 hours of burn time. And that can depend on how you burn it. But this candle would last you for quite some time. And this one, okay, so this is another one where the baby powder took over, but it's redwood, lavender, baby powder, cedar, and evergreen. This one isn't a strong like baby powder scent. It is in there. You do smell the other fragrances, but what I've learned is that baby powder fragrance is that when it dries in the wax, it takes over the other scents. Not so much when it was melted and I was pouring it. So I don't know what that means for when it burns, but it kind of gives like the freshness, again, that new beginning. It would be like, so it's a redemption period of Shaggy. So Shaggy, maybe he finds the way up behind the mask, he faces his fears. There's Shaggy elements in there. If we're gonna attach the Scream element to it, it could be the fact that Stu is being revamped in the new Scream. That was, I don't know. It could be like what is it? A reincarnation or reawakening, refreshness. Cause like that's what baby powder is it's cleanliness. It's figuring all those things out, but it could also be, what someone uses to cover up like weed smell. And I don't know if people typically do, but like there is that like, oh, I gotta mask what's underneath. And so it could be a release of that mask and all the other symbolisms associated with the candle. So there's a lot of different ways you could take it. Again, courage, mastery, achieving your goals, um, courage, 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 the cowardly dog, and then the cowardly lion. So there is like that bravery essence. So there could be like some Leo energy, but then there's, I don't know, it depends on what you associate Shaggy with. And it could be just finding your inner voice, so to speak, an inner sense of um or like just what would that be? I guess like no, because that's Velma. That's not the same thing. But because like Shaggy and Scooby have always known like who they are, so it's not like it's not making a stand or finding your voice. It's like I guess it's that acceptance of your role as the clown. So if you're like a more goofier comedian, or people maybe don't take you seriously, that's kind of like the vibe. This could be a really nice healing candle for those components where it's like I listen, I don't care if you don't take me seriously. I don't care if you think it's crazy that I'm afraid right now. I'm terrified. I'm doing it anyway. I'm doing it even though I don't want to. That's a very heavy Aquarius energy. Shaggy could be more Aquarian based. I could see that. I don't know though. I don't know how it all ties together, but these are just different things that came to mind. But there's also a really nice gold sheet obsidian in there. That thing is actually pretty huge. I forgot how big that was. So yeah, there's some really cool stones in here as well. But yeah, so this would be like kind of what this candle would be good for. And like I said, it's gonna last you a decent amount of time just because of the size itself. Because the bowl doesn't. I know it tapers here, but it's a full bowl of wax. So all right, got one more for I unfortunately have to get to my day job. And then that's almost a week for me. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for when that day comes. So anyone who wants to help me get rid of my day job, please go subscribe to my blog for my writings. That's the easiest way to support me with passive income, or get some weird merch, order a candle. Find whichever way you can to support me. I'd appreciate it because I don't want to be there. So I can do more of this that I think people enjoy. I hope you enjoy it. So that was a handmade pottery thing. It says Emerson Creek Pottery, Virginia. Like it's Buford, or I don't know. It's cut out. It's like can't see it. But this is Freya. So this was handmade. These remind me of dragonflies. I don't know if they're supposed to be dragonflies. It kind of seems like they are, but I don't know. She is gorgeous. Just every way, shape, or form. I'm absolutely in love with this. It looks like a little honey pot, which I think is fun. But name it Freya because Freya is associated with dragonflies. I had dragonfly as a spirit animal in 2023, and which associated with Freya. And one of the runes, it almost looks like an F. And so I thought that that was like a really nice synchronicity for fertility and all those other Freya and F symbolisms. So through Dragonfly, it's connected to water. So that's again Pisces Saturn return. So there's other symbolisms within there. But this is more of like a nice pond or a stream or a creek. This isn't ocean. This is water in the land. This is full integration. So I also feel Capricorn energy within here. The lightness of the blue and then the greens. It's winter. It's winter Capricorn, not frozen winter, like cold winter without snow, essentially. Or maybe even like the final endings of winter right before spring. That could be another one. So good rebirth energy. Again, we're talking about fertility, abundance. This is for Freya workings. Like there's a lot that you can do here, but I mainly associate with like that deep emotional healing that allows you to fully embody your own god and or goddesshood. It's accepting yourself as who you are and your place and your purpose in this world, and not instead of trying to fit into the world or change yourself, you're figuring out how to make what you were designed to be fit in the world, if that makes sense. Like you are being who you are with your purpose, and you're showing everyone how your purpose, you were created and designed and manifested into this time and this place for a reason. And this is what it is. I am here to show or be or do this world for not only myself, but for the collective. And so I think that there is a lot of lessons of like what like Freya teaches you, especially as like a woman warrior and I mean the Norse. I don't know. I don't want to get into any of those like patriarchal politics of interpretations of things. I get it, but I don't want to get into that. But I feel like there is that balance of earth and water within her, which in a water perspective, I guess would be like masculine water, feminine water, like how it integrates into the material world. Because if earth and water, okay, so we're getting into deeper scales. So there's the yin yang, okay, so there's light dark, or there's masculine feminine, and so but water itself is masculine and feminine, and then so water itself is feminine, and then there's feminine and masculine in feminine water. All right. So that so then it would just keep going, like integrating into the scales. And so in water and earth being encompassed into a feminine energy, I still feel like the earth side of things would be a more masculine representation, or the one was more fun, but then you can see how it vice versa. So anyway, the whole point of all of this is it's the fertility energy is what I'm trying to bridge. Okay. Like I'm trying to get the symbolism of essentially man and women surrendering to one another, masculine and feminine surrendering to one another, sex, it's fertility. So it's those associations of wholeness and merging with polaric opposites in that way. So if I don't know if I'm making any sense with that. So or if I'm expressing what I want to express with it. But there's some beautiful stuff in this candle. This candle, she's 18 ounces. So I can't do that quick math in my head. I'm so sorry. So let's see, 50, 30, 45, 60, 75, 94, 90 something hours of burn time. Sorry, that probably was so annoying. Not that strong at mental math in that way. So anyway, there's a lot of good stones in here. There's a rune stone. There's I don't think I'm gonna say that right. I know that's calcite. I have just some like green dyed quartz in there. I have a mushroom here. These are bluebells, forget me not, lavender. Let's see what else. What else did I put in there? So there's moss agate, rose quartz. So anyway, there's a lot that goes with this candle. This candle went so it's higher burn time, probably closer to 100. So they have 20. So 20 would be 100. So yeah, it's like 94 ish hours of burn time, depending on how you burn it. So there's that, the little honey pot, and you can repurpose it into a honey pot if you want. Just thin it out. It can be used to crystals, all the above. But yeah, so her fragrance, what's her fragrance? White oak, vanilla, and orchid. Yeah, that vanilla is really nice. It's definitely a softer scent for relaxation. Okay, so yeah, I hope that covered everything. And if you have any other questions about any specific piece, please feel free to comment. Let me know what you think. Message me on my website or of my social platforms if you want a more direct questionnaire about it or answers. But yeah, this is the start to my fall winter collection for these upcoming markets, and they're available in my shop. I do custom orders as well. So if you're wanting something really specific, let me know. My orders open up at the new moon and they close on the first quarter. And then everyone's orders for that cycle are shipped out on the last quarter. So if you have any questions about that, it's on my website, but you can also let me know. Cool. I think that is it. So thank you. Stay blessed, everybody. Stay safe. And I'll talk to you very soon.